Hi guys, I'm Joe.
And I'm Viv.
And this video is dedicated to our journey so far to registering me as a legal parent in my daughter's documents. She's currently 7 months old and we've been trying to get through this since we got pregnant, literally. So it's been like many, like 1.5 years.
As a recap, I carried our daughter and I'm her biological
This is gonna be
mom.
complex, so like full on focus.
Full on focus.
Right now. We carried our baby and we
She's
used
mine.
her egg and we
So-
used a sperm donor. So she's genetically this. V is Portuguese. I, in Portugal, recognizes gay marriage and allows adoption for Lgbt parents and puts both parents in the documents straight away from the birth.
You don't even need to adopt.
I'm Polish.
Yeah.
In Poland, we get nothing. We are not recognized, our marriage is not recognized, we can't adopt, we can't be put into documents of our children. We got married in London, in UK.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we, because we live in Poland, had to travel to Denmark to do our fertility treatment. So the fertility treatment was done in Denmark, that also recognizes gay marriage and gay parents.
Yes.
So, in the documents we got at the clinic,
And our daughter was born in Poland, which was most likely our mistake.
unfortunate, very unfortunate. This was a most unfortunate
But she was
decision.
born in Poland, and
This is
this is what we have.
We have a birth certificate in here. So we knew that this is gonna be complex because by law she is Portuguese and has the right to have me in her documents, and by law I don't have that right.
Yeah.
From like my own perspective.
Yeah.
So we knew that we're not gonna be able to put me in the birth certificate. That we knew
And
from
that it's okay.
the
We
beginning.
understood that is the law in Poland and we have to respect it.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
so not good. So we went back and forth with Portuguese embassy in Poland explaining that we're gonna have this birth certificate and I'm not gonna be there because there is no father and we can't put me, but we have the documents from the clinic that are the base for me to be the person in the documents in her Portuguese birth certificate that we will be registering. And will they be able to use those clinic documents and put me as a parent?
And the clinic document is just basically saying that we both went for this treatment, for the IUI treatment, so we both are kind of responsible for whatever is the outcome of this treatment, which was our baby. So technically for them in Denmark, Joe is responsible for our baby, as I am. And so that's what our documents say.
Yeah, so we went back and forth with the embassy for months. And at the end of it, we literally got a copy and paste answer of how Polish law will apply to Polish birth certificate, and there will be no father, like I won't be stated in the Polish birth certificate, which is not at all what we asked about. So we just wasted months like going back and forth, and this is when we understood we have to take things to Portugal, where they will understand it more. But in the meantime, we got a little bit concerned that we won't be able to do it, so we thought we're gonna change the surname for mine, so our daughter Ivy can have my surname as well. So if I can't be her parent, at least we will all as a family have the same surname. Which, for example, on the airports, they don't, for example, question if you're the mother of the child if you have the same surname, and in like preschools, and it's a lot of help.
It makes a little bit easier. Let's say if Joe goes with Ivy, and they both have the same surname, it's not like they won't question it.
Yeah. So we went to Portugal where we started the process of changing the surnames. We
just have to register our marriage.
Yes, that's what we found out.
Which everyone has to do. Their own
and we prepared all the documents. By the way, just so you know, it's super complex because our marriage is from London. My birth certificate is from Poland. You have to have everything officially translated, but you can't translate from a third language to a third language. So we had to translate from English to Polish and Polish to Portuguese, and we got all of those documents sorted and traveled all the way to Portugal, booked like a 2-week trip or something to get this sorted. And we were told that we need an apostille, which we had no idea what it was at all.
Absolutely, at all. We thinking back, it was like our error and our mistake.
So
and
now we're
also,
spreading awareness about what apostles are.
Also, why don't people talk about this?
Why isn't it common knowledge?
Yeah, why don't they teach this?
So if you don't know, apostle is like a certification of the fact that your document is actually
real, like,
original. So
original,
in your country you have to send back the original document and you get like a sticker on the back saying this original document is original.
Like this signature was verified.
Yeah,
for
and
example.
it's in I think whole European Union. Double check that because I can't promise
it's in
that,
Europe,
but it's in here it's like a common practice apparently. So we learned that, and because of that we had to come back to Poland. We didn't get anything sorted in Portugal at that point. So we were shipping back and forth documents between this friend who submitted everything for us.
Because I was already, pregnant.
And we had
so I couldn't
like
travel.
few months pregnant. And we had a lot of issues with that. Like for example, we wrote this like document that
giving him the power to do this
the
for
power
me.
of attorney to like put the documents. But the document that we received, the person who gave it to us assumed that it would be our lawyer putting it through, so they didn't tell us that we need like a certified signature on this document, so we had to go back and get a certified signature. Then it turned out that the friend had to go to a different office, so we had to do another signature in a different document, giving him the power to submit the papers in a different office. So this just like took weeks and weeks going back and forth.
But we managed that.
We managed to do that. Our marriage got registered, and then Ivy was born. Nothing happened in between, right?
I mean, actually, they were supposed to change my name already at this moment, because when you like kind of register your marriage is when you should kind of request also for your name to change, and I did request it in my document. However, they didn't do it. They likely missed it, and so we didn't have that done. But at least our marriage was already registered. So I was already in the end of my pregnancy, and literally days, I think it was like 2 or 3 days before I gave birth, my dad actually got us his lawyer, because we were already scared that we wouldn't be able to do all those things. So we were like, okay, we need a lawyer in Portugal, and my
because
dad,
we had to submit everything in Portugal, and like traveling back and forth is really unrealistic.
And also being like asking our friends to do this for us when it was already so complex, it wasn't like fair, and we didn't want to like make mistakes. So we were like, okay, we need a lawyer. We got a lawyer. My dad, put me through to this lawyer, and he said like, okay, this should be able to be done. Like she should be able to have you both as parents, because this is like typical in Portugal. We just will likely need these documents from
and
the
he gave
clinic,
us a list.
Gave us a list.
And
that was basically my birth certificate, the document from the clinic, and your ID.
Yeah, and that's another story. I don't know if you remember, but also the documents from the clinic were very tricky, because Portuguese requirements for the documents from the clinic are different than the standard Danish documents from the clinic you get. So we had to explain our clinic what type of documents we need, and they had to like draft it specifically for us with all the data that they required on the document, which they did.
They did it, thankfully.
Yeah. But they scanned the documents, send it to us by email, and of course, like as for any office, we needed to apostille that, so it needed to be an original.
We need an original.
So we asked them for an original.
They send the original.
They send it to us by post, and unfortunately, they printed out the scan and just sent us the printout of the scan by post. So we called them back and asked them, it needs to have a stamp and it needs to be signed. The people in the clinic were super lovely, so it was not much of a...
I think they just thought that this was enough, and like why not? Why wouldn't it be enough? But it wasn't enough for us.
They sent another one. This time it was original stamp,
all correct,
signed. We sent it back to Denmark to get apostille.
To the legalization.
Yeah. It came back to us with the apostille, and we sent it here in Poland for the translation. to translate it.
It was in English, so
from
that
English
was
to Polish and Polish to
Portuguese.
Portuguese. And from our translator, we heard, "Are you sure your consultation was in 1921?"
Yeah, 1921.
And this
So
is when we realized
they made a typo and we didn't catch it. Obviously, we are parents, we don't catch anything.
But we did read that like 5 times,
yeah.
so and we had other people
Yeah.
read through it. So yeah, but fortunately, you know, because this date was actually not
it
important
was
in the
100 years ago
Yeah.
and it wasn't an important day.
Yeah.
It wasn't like her birthday.
They
or-
understood in the
Yeah.
office it was a typo, so we didn't have to go through
Yeah.
the process at all. But it definitely gave us like
a little bit
additional
of stress.
stress. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So,
off we go with the document.
Yeah,
Ship
Ivy
them.
was born. No, we first got her birth certificate in Poland,
Oh,
and we
yeah,
found out
exactly.
the most ridiculous law that I've ever heard, which is that if the father of the child is unknown, a sperm donor, or
We thought we could just leave it blank.
blank, or
or
like not applies, or
Put like unknown, whatever, you know, something that would like make sense with that she doesn't
But
have a
no.
father.
no, she has to
Or
have
we
a name.
don't know her father. It's more like that.
Yeah. In Polish law, if you don't know the father, you have to
Make up
a
a
name.
name.
Like any name. They're just like, you know, just
Any
give
name.
me a random
And
male name and
They
we
will
put it.
use the mother's surname as his surname, and they will, if you don't provide a name, they will just make up one.
Yeah.
Like randomly, they just take a name and,
And
put it there.
this turned out
So-
to be the
Problem.
problem in our whole story. So we shipped all the documents, we gave it to the lawyer.
Everything was okay.
He submitted all of the documents, and they said that technically, of course, they could do that, no problem, but they can't override that made up male name that is on her birth certificate, and therefore they cannot put me in her
so
birth
if there
certificate,
wasn't
Portuguese
any
birth
name,
certificate.
they could add something because there wasn't any. But because there is a name there, even though it makes no sense, like they can't override it and they can't like change it.
Yeah.
Because it is on the original birth certificate, and when we are registering her birth, it's not like it's an original from Portugal, it's like a registration of her birth
Certificate
abroad.
from Poland. Yeah.
So it's kind of the same as our marriage. They couldn't just, you know, they have to take exactly the same data that we have in our marriage certificate, and they can just put things there that are not in the original certificate. So yeah,
So
and
fast
we were
forward
very
to
sad
this
about
week,
it.
we got her birth certificate, her
Yeah.
documents. One amazing thing is that they, in the meantime, changed V's surname. So after
So-
V, Ivy got my surname.
I was able to choose because in Portugal you can choose 2 surnames, or actually you can choose, I think, more than that. But anyway, I chose 2 surnames, one mine, one Joe's, because I already had Joe's in my name, so at least we have that.
Yeah.
And she has one mother.
In her Portuguese documents.
And our lawyer said that we will likely have to adopt no, not me, Joe. Not
You
me.
don't have to.
I don't have to. Joe
Yeah.
will likely have to adopt her, and that we will know, like he will research and ask and see what are our next steps, but this is
the stage we are. So we got that registration now, and we just requested for her documents, and they will unfortunately just have V in there, so we have to really look into all the healthcare proxies and stuff like that, because it's really complicated when you are not legally a mother of your child. You can't take them to the doctor, you can't take them to school, you can't travel with them, you can't see them in the hospital.
It is dangerous, even in my opinion. You know,
we are the most concerned about like if something happens to V, like
what happens,
because I have no legal rights to her at the moment, so we are trying to sort it out as soon as possible, but we still have to just wait for our lawyer. But we thought we will already, it's been 1.5 years, so we wanted to make this video to update you.
Also, it's outrageous, so we kind of have to like let go of this anger and
just share it to have to keep it in.
because it is frustrating, and you know, we did everything we could, and like thinking back,
Put
maybe
in so much time,
yeah,
money, and all the translations, shippings, requesting documents,
Everything, and-
apostles. It added up to like
You know?
thousands of euros just in documents.
And we do know that it is, you know, technically our fault because we live here and we
Okay,
have
it's not
to
our
respect
fault
it.
that we don't have an equal
Yeah, but it's
equality
not
and
exactly.
like law that doesn't recognize our. This is
Exactly.
not our fault.
It's not our fault that we don't have it. It's our fault that we knew it and we still had our
Yeah.
baby here. However, it's really frustrating because we live here, we love living in Poland, and it's still something we have to fight for every day. And hopefully, us making these videos and posting
We'll make you get an apostille before
we'll make you
traveling
get an
somewhere.
apostille, will make you think about really where you want your child to be born, because this is huge and it's important. So yeah,
And what country of clinic to
Yeah.
choose, because it's very important that
Important
you are
that,
both listed
yeah.
in the documents in the
that
first
they also
place.
recognize. So, you know, if you can do things differently and more easy than we did.
But yeah, so that's it. That's the
it.
update. We will do another one when we know more.
yeah.
Hopefully with my name in the documents this time. But thank you so much for watching as always
Thank you
and
for
supporting
following
us.
us.
And have a magical day.
Have a magical day.
Bye.
Bye.